Welcome back to the channel, everyone. And today we are covering another Procreate tutorial. This is creating comic books with Procreate, and we're going to cover lettering today. I don't do a lot of lettering in Procreate. Right now, I draw the comic in Procreate, lay it all out there, and I do my roughs, as you can kind of see here, what the dialogue is. And then I've been switching it over to Clip Studio Pro. Clip Studio Pro has a lot more functions with their text tool, even though they don't have as many awesome functions as, like, say, Illustrator. Procreate is really limited when it comes to what you're working on. As far as text goes, it's very limited in what you can do. But if it's just the only thing you got, or just want to make it super easy and only work in one program, it can be done. So that's what we're going to be covering today. So first up, as long as you got your script down and everything of what you want the characters to say, we're going to be working on this panel here. This is a panel from my comic, MADCAP Wrestling. You can find it at the links down below. Yeah, so first we got the dialogue here. So we'll go up to our actions. Okay, so I gotten rid of my Apple Pencil. If you're really comfortable working with lettering and, typing with an Apple Pencil, go for it. I am not, so go start this over again. Go to Actions, Add Text. And all we're going to do here is going to be adding the text of what the character is saying. And we can change everything. If it's not the right font you want right now, don't worry about it. I'll show you in just a second while we're doing it. This character, El Pollo Loco, he is laying down the smack talk with Max Power right now. Do this real quick. Take it. Punk. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that for demonstration purposes right there. And yeah, so basically, that's our text right there. But of course, it looks a little too wide, too much line space between the letters, maybe a little too much space between the letters themselves. And we can edit all of that stuff. Like I said, it is limited, but it does give you some options. So what you're going to do is select that. You can either double tap it, I think. Nope. Or you can hit the letters. So let's go back here. Tap it to select it, hit the letters right here. And now you got all your options here. So if you wanted to change the font, first you would need to select it in order to change all your fonts. And then you go back to here and you can change it to that. Right now, I think I'm using a comic book font I got somewhere, I can't remember where, called Jack Armstrong. And then you can change all these other options here. So if you wanted to make the lettering bigger, go ahead and do that. And all you'd have to do in order to cross the page there, move that dot there. And you can make the font super big, super small. Do it right here. I think I am working at 11 by 17 size for this comic page. So what I am doing here is changing it to about size 22 point. And that looks pretty good. But I think I want it 3 lines. So what you can do is just use this guide right here. Push this in. There we go. That looks pretty good. And so now, maybe we'll just zoom in here a little bit more. Maybe this is a little bit too narrow or too wide on the letters. So you can deal with that with your kerning. You can change that. So you can see the letters get really smushed together like that. Or if you want to open it really wide, you can really make the letters have a lot of space in between. I usually leave that pretty much alone. Sometimes I might tighten it up just a little bit, just for my personal preference. And we got tracking here, kind of does the same thing. The other thing is, you want to sometimes worry about this line space in between the first top line and the bottom line, and especially when you have multiple lines going on. So I'm going to use this side. I got 3 lines going on. There's a little bit too much space in between those letters there. So what you can do here is change the leading. You want a lot more space there or little space. I usually go right about there. So maybe about -6, -5. And now if you do it by hand and you see I just hit 5, you're going to have to hit minus. And then you're good. And there you go. And if you wanted to do, for some reason, maybe comic calls for it, maybe someone's whispering, you can change the opacity on the font color there. If you wanted to do a few other things here, you do have the options of doing underlines. I think we got an outline expression there. You can change if you want it to the alignment on the side, centered, or on the right side, justified. stuff like that. I usually keep mine in the center. You can make everything capitalized. Of course, in this type of font, that doesn't really matter except for on your eyes, because comic book font generally is all capitalized. And the easy way of doing that, triple click. It should be triple click, but sometimes it takes 4 clicks. And then you can just go underline it all, outline, just like that. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, it's red right now. If you wanted to change the color, just make sure it's selected with the little box there. Change this color here, and boom, we got a red box. It is under your layers, so if you wanted to create a bubble, new layer underneath, make sure we got the right pin selected. Where is my monoline pin? There it is. All right, and then change that to white, and then just fill that in, and you got a speech bubble there. Of course, if you want a more in-depth review on how to make those speech bubbles, check out my video in the little description box up top. Little, whatever that thing, that little eye thing, you know, it pops up in the corner there. I do have a link for it down in the description down below, though. But yeah, that is how you make comic book lettering in Procreate. Pretty easy. Like I said, not as many functions as, say, of course, definitely Illustrator. And Clip Studio Pro or Clip Studio Paint, it has a little bit more functions, but that is lacking in comparison to something like Adobe Illustrator as well. But yeah, there you go. That's how you do comic book lettering in Procreate. If you enjoyed this, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let me know down below what comic you're working on. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.